welcome to today's episode of Model Making by Tom. And we're going to continue with the Airwolf model. Didn't get much farther than what I did per the video labeled week 5.1. Went downstairs, fed the doggies, and that was about all that that ended up happening after that point. They wanted to play and whatnot, and then I cooked dinner for myself. So, we're just going to go ahead and get basically straight into it. I left off last time basically with doing, although it wasn't able to be seen that well, and I apologize, I am leaving the zoomed out this time. Zooming in apparently went ahead and just didn't want to focus in that much, so I'm going to leave it. And I was working on the forward landing gear. I'm going to take the clamps off, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but the wheel is free flowing. I didn't have to do anything to it, so I had just the right amount of glue in the right spot, so that way it didn't go ahead and jam up the function there, so it can roll if necessary. So that's good. I'm going to work on the other two landing wheels that are actually part of the, I guess you could call it the turbo thrust landing area, and for lack of a better term. So I'll go ahead and I'll take care of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and work on that wall that I mentioned for, where is it here? Oh, it's on the other spring. I got to remember, left is right, right is left. This wall piece right here, to go ahead and kind of punch out the area where you can see kind of what looks like a computer screen, possibly right there. So we'll go ahead and do that. And when I go to do that, I could go ahead and pull out one of the Dremels. I'm sure a lot of people have seen Dremels like this. Again, left is right, right is left. And don't get me wrong, these are great. They're fairly quiet. You can go ahead and rev them down, rev them up. There it is on high. There it is on low. These are much lower, or they're somewhat lower than a regular Dremel tool. Which, like I said, I do admit that I love my Dremel 4000, or I should say 400 XPR. Got it before the 4000 came out. It's part of an XPR kit. And I love that kit. It came with so many different accessories. It wasn't even funny with how much stuff I walked away with for $100. I got it Christmas. Back in 07, I think it was. Sounds about right. Like I said, got it for under $100. Got it from the local Home Depot, and I've always enjoyed Dremel tools. A friend of mine years ago bought me a Dremel tool from what was it, Sears. I believe it was a Kenmore version of the Dremel tool. Nice small box, red lid, black base unit, small little handful of Dremel bits on it. Nothing near to what I have right now, but that tool, I gotta admit, it was good. I had one prior to that, which I didn't know you could replace the bushings, the magnetic pieces on the side of the motors, and it died on me. I knew what was wrong, but at that time period, we didn't have a Home Depot in the area or a Lowe's. We had a lumberjack, and Lumberjack had a lot of stuff, but no place locally had Dremel repair products. Stores had Dremel tools. They had the Dremel accessories, kind of like the accessory pack that I've got up on the wall here, that has all the different sanding elements and cutting wheels and whatnot, but nothing that contained parts to go ahead and repair them. So luckily they're not necessarily overly expensive, but they are a very handy tool. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and reset and start reshooting. Be right back, everyone. One of these days with this new remote, I'm going to figure out how to go ahead and pause. And I'm going to realize one of these days, left is right, right is left. Be right back, everyone. Alright. I think I'm back. It says recording. So I guess I'm back. Hey, everyone. Yesterday I noticed as I was recording, and, well, not as I was recording, but afterwards, and I had saved everything onto the computer and whatnot, that there was some noise feedback coming in on the volume, or on the sound. And I think what was going on is I've got a ceiling fan that's basically right above my head. Well, above my head and a little bit behind me, not by much though. So I think what was happening, since the microphone on this is actually on the top of the camcorder here, I think it was picking up the sound of the blades above and whatnot, and the wind, not that there was much wind, but of the air being pushed down over it. So I'm going to go ahead and record today without that ceiling fan on. Luckily it's not been too hot of a day. Today we're only supposed to have gotten to 80 degrees, which, considering the amount of 100 plus degree temps that we normally get in the Sacramento area, we average about 30 for summertime. And some of those 100 degree plus days, I can remember us getting, back in the mid 80s, I think we hit 116 or 118. Yeah, swimming pools were bathtubs, not good. So, you know, we can get kind of hot, and with this being a two-story house, and there only being a single AC unit that does the entire house, to try to cool the upstairs down to a point where it's comfortable means having the downstairs set for like 64 degrees. Can make for some very interesting times, to say the least. So, not necessarily a fan of Starbucks, but their container is quite nice. Double-walled, holds, what is it, 24 ounces? I load this puppy completely with ice and put water in it. Does wonders. Well, water is good for you anyway, so. But let's hope that the sound quality is good today. Go ahead and put these clamps back into here. Now, before I actually get to doing the other wheels, as I was moving things around a little bit, I noticed a part that had fallen off the trees, and I'd rather go ahead and kind of keep the parts that had fallen off like that. I'd rather go ahead and do their sub-assembly and get them kind of out of the way, if you know what I mean. So, also kind of taking up the work area a little bit too as I'm going along. So again, my protractor compass set out of the way. Now just set it aside. So, anyways, the piece that fell off the tree, don't know if you can see it or not, but show it to you here on this Airwolf. It is actually part of the exhaust system here on the side of Airwolf. So here and here. Okay, granted these are painted completely black. They should be done in kind of a metallic color with hot metal exhaust burns, if you will, on them. So that I will try to simulate. That'll be kind of fun because I've never done anything like that, but I found a nice little tutorial, and we'll attempt it. So anyways, first thing is going ahead and taking care of these exhaust pieces. Now, you haven't seen me use the new XL knife yet. That's because it's got a nice point on it. I am not necessarily a fan of the chisel point like that. I've always preferred the rounded edge. It's personal preference. I've heard the same thing said about doctors in surgical suites and whatnot. Some prefer to go ahead and go with the point. Some prefer the curve. My favorite overall tool, though, is my Swiss Army Champ. As weird as it might sound, I've actually had this puppy since it was 1982. It's been sent in for repairs numerous times, so the panels have been replaced, various springs have been replaced. One of the things I really like is the fact that these are warranted for life. So, and they are excellent about keeping my promise as far as their warranty is concerned. So all you have to do is just basically mail it back. Short little letter saying, oops, spring is broken on it. And, that may be the only thing you say, but they will go ahead and not only replace the spring, but they'll take the ballpoint pin, they'll replace it, they'll replace the toothpick, the tweezers. This actually has a straight pin in it. They will go through and give it a thorough cleaning as well. So, I go through mine and clean it like every 6 months anyways, lubricate the hinge points and whatnot, but they do a fantastic job. I still have friends that go ahead and give me a grief about purchasing that thing back in the day. A friend of mine who, I'm not going to mention his name, but we'd go ahead and we'd be out camping or whatever, out in his truck or Jeep, whatever he had at the time period, and something go on or not go on, as the case may be, and he'd be like, Tom, do you have your knife with you? And I'd be like, you mean the one that you keep giving me grief over? And he'd be, yeah, that's the one. So although, it's kind of in jest, because, at the time period that I bought it, it was $100 basically. I think it was like 96, something like that. But I lost the red there a few years ago when I went to Yosemite, and because I remember placing it into my luggage, placing the luggage then into my car for the return trip back. Got back, unloaded, unpacked, and couldn't find old red. So I went ahead and give it a little funeral service for basically 30 years worth of good service, and then ordered another one. The replacement actually came with translucent green panels on the side. Cost me actually a lot less. And so that one was just shy of $100. The replacement was like not 90, like $65, and it included the leather sheath for it. So, very happy with the buy. Then I was cleaning out the trunk of my car, and I gotta admit, since I don't use the trunk that often except for carrying groceries, I don't really deal with anything in it. So, cleaning out the trunk, And lo and behold, there in the back of my trunk was Old Red. And, you know, I'm shocked, surprised. Took it in my hands, gave it a little kiss on the red panels, and said, "I found you! I found you!" Okay, maybe slightly exaggerating that, but, you know, when you've had something that long, I don't want to go ahead and make sure you take care of it, and as I have. So, it was good to find it again. Okay, that was part 47, so 47 and 48 go together. Okay, that one's 48 there. Yeah, Permit Entry Swiss Army Nest. Kind of have things where, you know, if you're a golfer, they've got a nice view for going ahead and repairing those divots that you put into the ground, or whatever they're called. For those people that like to go out and ride horses. I saw one years ago designed for equestrian people. For those that are computer nerds, geeks, whatever you want to call us, I do have one. Also, it's got blue panels on it that has various different screwdrivers with various tips specialized for computer usage and repairs. A few years ago, they came out, actually slightly after 9/11, they came out with a airport safe Swiss Army knife, and all this one had on it was just a flashlight or laser pointer and a USB stick on it. In that time period, USB was pricey and low in memory capacity, so I think the largest one held like 64 megs on it. Of course, nowadays, you know, when we're talking storage on memory stick, we're talking gigs. And that, you know, was a little bit on the pricey side too. So, I do like these sticks for helping to hold the parts together. Okay, let's see what we got here. And I always kind of wonder this one, how it's supposed to line up. There we go. And there go the barking boys. Okay. Whew. Nothing like the smell of monobaster glue in the afternoon. Okay. Okay, Bailey, that's enough. Probably thinking to himself, I hear you talking there, why can't I talk out here? Okay. Okay, where's the other one at? I think. Yep, there you are. You know, one of the things I wanted to say, I mean, I know my model site here only has, what, some 30 people that are members of it right now. And if you want to go ahead and make recommendations and, you know, invite other people, that's great. I certainly would not complain. But if there are other tips or recommendations that you'd like to pass on, please. I'm all for going ahead and sharing information. Like I said before, you know, my regular job, you know, I work out of college as an instructional assistant in mathematics. So part of my job is to teach. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it immensely. I enjoy learning. I'm not necessarily one for spending time in the classroom and learning at a desk, if you know what I mean. You know, I like, you know, maybe going to seminars, meetings, going to take, you know, a class that maybe goes for a few hours, or but spending the, you know, whole semester in a classroom. Alright, I think we're back. Seems to be recording. Time for a drink, so cheers everyone. Nothing like some good water. Okay, first part that's going to have to be assembled is probably, and this is kind of a double piece. Oh well. There's one wheel off the sprue. There's another wheel off. Getting a nice little collection of plastic bits and bobs. Okay. A little closer with that. Okay. Looks okay. Drop him. I think gone are the days when I used to go ahead and build Tester brand helicopters that were loaded with these very fine, small little pieces that you used to be able to see without any problems whatsoever. Nowadays, give me the visor, please. anyone knows of a good paint system for housing Tamiya's, Model Master, and Tester brand paints. I'm not necessarily a fan of Vallejo. I do have a few all-clads which are going to be part of the hot metal setup that I'll be doing here when it comes to staining the exhaust and the jet ports. But nice way to store these guys would be great around here. As some of you have seen, I certainly have the room for it. That was kind of the thing when I kind of decided to take over. It used to be my old bedroom. That wheel is so off-center. I almost wish I had a way to go ahead and put this on. I'm not usually a fan of going ahead and scraping this like this. It is so off. That sounds like one of the dogs went outside. I will admit that for the most part, my dogs are pretty good about going out back when they need to go. But every once in a while, someone wants to go ahead and push the limits. Now, when I took the trip to Yosemite, I had a friend of mine go ahead and house sit for me. And when I came back home, the boys were very glad to see me. And for a fortnight, 2 weeks for the Americans, they insisted on letting me know that they were not happy with me. So, one of them would go ahead and, at that time I only had 2, Falcor and Bailey. One of them would go ahead and leave a little mess in the hallway. The other one would leave a little mess downstairs in the hallway. Which is why when I recarpeted the upstairs, and I went to the local carpet store here, and they had their carpet displays out, and they had a 30% off of all their products, as well as no taxes. They were going to pay the taxes. So I took a look at the 3 different paddings that they had, and one of the paddings was a Scotchgard brand padding. And when I looked at the Scotchgard padding, and they just had all 3, kind of, here's one, actually it's kind of like on a slant, but here's the first one, here's the second, and here's the third. And it was, price, low, medium, high, and the Scotchgard was the medium price. I took one look at the Scotchgard and noticed that it had a plastic uh, sheet basically over the top of the padding. And I looked at the guy that was doing the sales, and I'm like, you know, he was trying to sell me the very basic underlayment of padding. And I'm like, no, I'll take the Scotch Guard one. And he's like, yeah, but most households don't need it. And I look at him and I said, hey, I got 2 dogs. Every once in a while, one of them likes to go ahead and leave me a surprise. He said, never mind. That explains everything. The Scotch Guard padding is yours. He did not need any further convincing. So, I don't have to worry about the padding getting ruined. Also, I find that, considering I've also got a pet spot cleaner for the carpet, I bought that at the same time as I bought the carpet. And believe it or not, you've actually seen it a couple times when I'm kind of panned around the room. It's basically nothing more than a okay, how's this light? I guess that goes like that. Down here. Anyways, it's actually put out by Bissell. And it's called their pet spot cleaner, I think is what it's called. But you just basically set it on the area that has been soiled. And turn it on after you've gone ahead and filled up with the water and the cleaning solution. Oh, that's a tight fit there. But it does an excellent job of cleaning the carpet area. If one of my guys gets sick, I'm certainly appreciative of that cleaner. And I won't give too much information, but there's been a couple times I've been in for kidney stone surgeries. And I was thankful for it afterwards as well. I'll save you from the TMI on that. Okay. There's a few people though that got all the gruesome information in person. They're like, too much information. I'm like, yeah, right. You've heard worse and you like it. Okay, cleaning up the landing gear. I gotta admit, I kind of like these sanding pads put out by GS Hobby. Okay. You may have heard that. Someone sent a message. message was from one of the people that gets the TMI. That will flows pretty nicely there. One does not. And maybe that's the reason. Okay. Better. Just kind of spray rolling with the other side. That's okay, it's not like I'm planning on rolling it down the base unit. Okay. Basically with this, there's another side to the wheels here that I'll put on. And then this guy fits right in the middle of it. Bottom area goes down there, and doesn't really matter. And he goes on the bottom. Side bottom. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get the first side done. I don't know if I just had too much glue maybe shoot up into here during the summertime or what. Put a dot of glue there on that spot. Wow, you don't say. There's that. I'm going to put it there. And my fingers are all over that glue spot.